Today we start with the frequency response analysis in the control system subject. Before starting this frequency response analysis, so first of all, we should know what is meant by sinusoidal transfer function of a control system. So we already know what is meant by transfer function. It is a ratio of Laplace transform of output divided by Laplace transform of input with zero initial conditions. So now if you want to determine the sinusoidal transfer function of any system, that will be the ratio of sinusoidal output to the sinusoidal input. Okay, so sinusoidal output will be denoted as C of t, so which will be having a magnitude as phase angle, and similarly sinusoidal input will be denoted in terms of R of t, which has the A into sin omega t plus theta, which has a magnitude as well as phase angle. Okay, so this will be the sinusoidal transfer function. So sinusoidal transfer function will be denoted in terms of T of S. Okay, so here S will be replaced into j omega. So that will be obtained as the frequency domain transfer function. So here frequency domain transfer function, which is nothing but T of j omega, is a complex function of omega, which will be consist with magnitude function as well as phase function. So magnitude and phase functions will be real functions of omega, that is called as a frequency response. So now we have been discussed what is meant by frequency response of any system. Okay, so in order to determine this frequency response, we essentially need the sinusoidal transfer function. So this transfer function will be classified into three different forms. That is open loop transfer function, loop transfer function, and closed loop transfer function. Open loop transfer function will be g of s, which will be complex function. S will be replaced by j omega. Therefore, g of j omega, which is as magnitude as well as phase angle. Magnitude will be magnitude of g of j omega and phase angle of g of j omega. And loop transfer function will be g of s h of s, which will be s is replaced by j omega, and similarly you will be getting magnitude and phase angle. Closed loop transfer function will be m of s, which will be m of j omega. So magnitude and phase angle will be obtained. Okay, so this is about the various kinds of transfer functions. So that by using this only we can able to determine various kinds of frequency domain specifications, and also we can plot the various kinds of frequency response plots for given different types of transfer functions. Okay, so here we have to know what is meant by various different types of frequency domain specifications are available, which is nothing but resonant peak, resonant frequency, resonant cutoff frequency and cutoff rate, and bandwidth and gain margin and phase margin. So these are your frequency domain specifications, and then we can have the definition for each one separately. First of all, we can take the resonant peak. It is a maximum peak value of or magnitude of a closed loop transfer function is called as a resonant peak, or otherwise we can say it is a large resonant peak corresponds to the larger overshoot in the transient response. It is nothing but your resonant peak, which always denoted in terms of MR, which is equivalent to 1 divided by 2 del into root of 1 minus del square. Resonant frequency will be omega R, which is nothing but frequency at which resonant peak occurs. Okay, so the resonant frequency omega R will be equivalent to omega n into root of 1 minus 2 del square. So here you can able to see in a resonant peak formula and resonant frequency formula. If you know the natural frequency and the damping ratio values, then you can automatically determine all this frequency domain specification also. Okay, so then we can able to go for bandwidth. Bandwidth is a range of frequencies for which normalized gain of the system is more than minus 3 dB. Okay, the frequency at which gain is minus 3 dB is called as a cutoff frequency. Bandwidth is usually defined for the closed loop transfer function, which can transmit the signal whose frequencies are less than the cutoff frequencies. Bandwidth is used to measure the ability of feedback system to reproduce the input signal and noise rejection characteristics and the rise time. So the large bandwidth corresponds to the small rise time or faster responses. So these are various important things for the bandwidth, and then bandwidth always denoted in terms of omega b, which is nothing but omega n into 1 minus 2 del square plus the root of 2 minus 4 del square plus 4 del power 4 whole power 1 by 2. So this will be about the bandwidth. Here also, if you know the omega n and damping ratio, automatically you can determine the bandwidth. And then cutoff rate, it is the slope of the log magnitude curve near the cutoff frequency. It is nothing but cutoff rate. So by having the cutoff rate, so it has been used to indicate the ability of the system to distinguish from the original signal to the noise. Okay, so this is about the cutoff rate. And then we can go with the gain margin. So always gain margin will be denoted in terms of kg. Gain margin will be defined as the value of gain added to the system in order to bring this system in verge of instability. So the additional gain will be added to the system at a phase crossover frequency. Okay, so first of all we should know what is meant by phase crossover frequency. Phase crossover frequency is nothing but frequency at which the system phase angle is minus 180 degree. Okay, that is nothing but your phase crossover frequency. It always denoted in terms of omega pc. So now if you want to determine the gain margin in terms of formula, then kg will always equivalent to 1 divided by magnitude of g of j omega pc. So if you want to determine the gain margin in terms of decibel, then we have to take 20 log of kg, that is equivalent to 20 log of 1 divided by magnitude of g of j omega pc. Okay, so this is about the gain margin. For the second order system, always the same gain margin will be the infinity. Okay, and then we can go for the phase margin. So phase margin is nothing but uh, gamma. Okay, it will be denoted in terms of gamma, and it is defined as the additional phase lag added to the system at gain crossover frequency to bring the system in verge of instability. So here we have to know what is meant by gain crossover frequency, that is omega gc. It is the frequency at which magnitude of this closed loop or open loop transfer function is unity, or system gain is 0 dB. Okay, so these things you have to remember. And then the phase margin will be obtained as the by using a formula as gamma is equal to 180 plus 5gc. So 5gc is nothing but phase angle at gain crossover frequency. So gamma is equal to, for the second order system, gamma is equal to 180 plus minus 90 minus tan inverse of UGC divided by 2 del. If you substitute the UGC value, then we can obtain plus 90 minus tan inverse of minus 2 del square plus root of 4 del power 4 plus whole power plus 1 divided by 2 del whole power 1 by 4. So this will be your phase margin formula for the second order system. And then we can go for the frequency response plots. So we have the various different types of frequency response plots. One is Bode plot, polar plot, and Nichols plot, M and N circle, and Nichols chart. So first we take the Bode plot. So Bode plot is frequency response plot of the sinusoidal transfer function. So it will be consists of two graphs. One plot will be magnitude plot. It is drawn between the magnitude of the sinusoidal transfer function versus log omega. Other one is a phase plot, which will be drawn between phase angle of sinusoidal transfer function versus log omega. So this will be about the Bode plot. So now we have to discuss how to draw the Bode plot with the step-by-step procedure. So here you can able to see in the step 1, we have to understand the transfer function, in which nature it has been given. Okay, so here the transfer function, it is given whether it is given in s plus term or 1 plus s term. You have to observe the transfer function first. So if it is given 1 plus s term, directly you can replace s into j omega. Otherwise, if j omega is given with s plus term, then take the constant outside, convert that into 1 plus s term, then replace s into j omega. So this is an important procedure. So without doing this, we cannot able to proceed the problem. Otherwise it will become all the steps becomes wrong. So therefore you have to pay concentration on this step. So first of all, you have to observe the transfer function whether it is given in terms of 1 plus s term or s plus term. 1 plus s term means directly replaces to s into j omega. So this is what here also it is been done. So g of j omega, all the term is being given with 1 plus s term. Therefore, directly s is replaced by j omega. G of j omega is equal to k into 1 plus j omega t1 divided by j omega into 1 plus j omega into t2, 1 plus omega divided by omega n square, and j 2 del omega divided by omega n. So this will be your g of j omega. So okay, so now once you obtain this g of j omega, then you have to go for the second step. In this step, you have to put the tabular column. So here you will be having a 4 columns: term, corner frequency, slope, change in slope. Term will be taken from the transfer function only. Okay. So here you can able to see constant value is available, and then j omega is only separately there. So therefore you can combine this and you can write that as a first term. So first term will be k divided by j omega. Second term will be will be written in terms of corner frequencies ascending order. So here you should know how to write the corner frequencies. Okay, so corner frequencies will be obtained by looking into the transfer function. So in the transfer function, 1 plus j term will be available. In that, j omega coefficient will be taken, and you can take that as a reciprocal of that term will be given as the corner frequency. Okay, so the corner frequency will be written by taking the j omega coefficients as the reciprocal. So here that value will be always taken or considered in terms of ascending order. So here you can able to see if you are having 1 plus j omega in terms of a numerator, then you will be only write 1 plus j omega. Okay, if it is in the denominator, then you have to write the next term 1 divided by 1 plus j omega t2. Okay, and again third term will be the quadratic function 1 divided by 1 minus j omega divided by omega n square minus 2 del omega divided by omega n. So similarly, corner frequencies, first term doesn't have any corner frequency. 1 plus j omega will be having a corner frequency. Ascending order you have to write, and then you can go for the slope decibel per decade. So how to identify the slope? Okay, so here you have to look into the transfer function. If transfer function like j omega consists with only one power is 1, then slope value will be 20. Okay, so if it is available j omega available in the numerator, then plus 20. J omega is available in the denominator, then it is minus 20. Similarly, if we j omega power is 2, okay, j omega square is available, then 20 plus 20 will be 40. So j omega square is available in the numerator means plus 20, sorry, plus 40. J omega square is available in the denominator means it will be minus 40. Like that we have to write. Okay, so here you can able to see for this transfer function, first term consists with minus 20 dB. Why? Because k divided by j omega. So j omega power is 1, which is available in the denominator minus 20. And then you will be having a next term 1 plus j omega in the numerator upper plus 20. And then next term 1 divided by 1 plus j omega t2. So this term available j omega is in the denominator minus 20. So in the quadratic equation, omega power becomes 2. Therefore, here we'll be having minus 40. Okay, like that you have to write the slope. Okay, say change in slope, how to write means always the first term doesn't have any change in slope, therefore put the dash. Okay, and then the second term change in slope will be obtained as addition of change in slope from the first term and the second term. First term is obtained as minus 20, second term is plus 20. So therefore minus 20 plus 20 will be resultant is 0. Take that resultant value and go to the next term change in slope. Okay, so in order to determine the change in slope for the next term, bring that result, okay, 0 over here, 0, and then add this slope. Okay, current slope. So that is that will be minus 20. So upper resultant is minus 20. So I bring that minus 20 over here for the next term, quadratic equation term. So minus 20, minus 40, minus 60. Okay, like that change in slope you have to determine. Okay, and then you can able to see for various values of corner frequency, how to choose it. Okay, so here we have been having a various corner frequency. Already I have told you have to look into the j omega coefficient, take the reciprocal of it, and you will be getting a corner frequencies. Okay, so here you have to choose the lower corner frequency and higher corner frequency. Lower corner frequency always less than the omega c1 first corner frequency. Higher corner frequency should be chosen as the greater than say omega c2. Okay, like that you have to take the conditions and you have to determine the lower corner frequency and the higher corner frequencies. Okay, and then we can able to see for various frequency how to determine the gain values and or magnitude values and the phase angle values. Before going to that, we will discuss what are the shapes for the magnitude plot for various different terms. Okay, as usual, if you are having a transfer function, in the transfer function, if you are having a n poles, for example, s available in the denominator will be represents the poles. Numerator 1 plus s plus terms will be always represents the zeros. Okay, so here n number of poles available in the origin, then the slope will be always minus 20. That means in the decreasing order. Okay, so phase angle will be denoted in terms of minus 90. So if you're having n number of zeros, then n number of zeros at the origin, then slope will be always plus 20. That means increasing order, slope will be in the increasing manner, and phase angle will be plus 90. that we have to remember. And then you can able to see we are having various k value. If the k value is equal to 1, then the straight line will be passing through the origin. Okay, that is my 0, it will be passing. And if k is greater than 1, always it will be straight line will be passing through the plus db's values. Okay, and if k is 0 to less than 0 to 1 means, then the straight line will be passing through the minus 1, like that. These are the things we should simple things we should remember, so that it will be easy for solving any kinds of the problem. For example, you can able to see k divided by j omega square. So j omega square means denominator it is available, therefore minus 40. So it is double pole, it's located at the origin, therefore minus 40 in the decreasing order. Slope will be minus 40 and it will be in the decreasing order. It draws in the decreasing order. So then you can go for the second term. So 1 plus j omega t the whole square. Up here you can able to see plus 40. There is poles zeros at the origin. So double zeros are the origin. Therefore plus 40 increasing manner the slope is been drawn. Okay, and then you can able to see here we are having a next term 1 divided by 1 plus j omega t2. So that is j omega is available in the denominator. Only power is 1. Therefore minus 20. That is poles. Therefore decreasing order minus 20 slope is been there. And then 1 divided by j omega t2. So that is also minus 20 decreasing order. So now for one particular transfer function. So minus 40. Okay, and then plus 40. So minus 40 plus 40 means 0 dB. So that is a straight line. Okay, and then again minus 20. So it has been decreasing. Okay, and then again minus 20. So minus 20 already is there. Minus 20 means again in the decreasing minus 40 slope is been available. So this is for the any kind of given transfer function. You can draw the Bode plot as like this, depending upon the terms. Okay, so hope you can understand this. Then we can go for the determination of various frequency, how to determine the gain. Okay, so here we should follow the two important formulas for determining the gain for lower corner frequency and first corner frequency. We have to use one formula, that is a is equal to 20 log of magnitude of first term. Okay, so that is the first formula. Second formula is nothing but change in gain from omega x to omega y. That means previous frequency to the current frequency plus gain at previous frequency. Okay, or otherwise we can say slope from omega c x to omega y into log of omega y divided by omega x plus gain at omega x. Or otherwise we can say slope from previous frequency to the current frequency into log of current frequency divided by previous frequency plus gain at omega x or previous frequency. Okay, so this is the formula you should remember. Then you can easily determine for various frequency, various kind. So here, for example, if you're having a negative slope, then it will be available as like this. Positive slope will be drawn as like that. That is okay. So this is the various things we should remember, and then we can able to see important thing. Okay, so for various omega, you have determined the two formulas. You have used the two formulas and determine the various magnitudes for omega L to omega H. And then you can draw plot all the points into the similar graph sheet, and you can join all the points by using a scale. That is a magnitude plot. Okay, so magnitude plot has been completed now. So now we have to obtain the phase plot. In order to obtain the phase plot, first of all, we should write the phase angle. So phase angle will be written as phi. So phi will be equivalent to you have to look into the transfer function. For example, here you can able to see g of s, h of s is given. So 1 divided by 1 plus st whole power n. Okay, the transfer function is being given as like this. So here you can able to see s will be replaced by j omega. So 1 plus j omega t will come. Okay, so here 1 plus j omega term is available. So if transfer function as like this, then we can write the phase angle as tan inverse of imaginary part divided by real part. Imaginary coefficient is nothing but omega t, real part is 1. So you will be getting this. So here this 1 divided by 1 plus j omega, j is available in the denominator. Therefore, the tan inverse value will be minus tan inverse of imaginary divided by real part you have to write. Okay, so if it is available 1 plus j term in the numerator, you should write plus tan inverse of imaginary divided by real part. Apart from that, you have to remember if j omega only available, okay, if it is available in the numerator, so the phase angle will be considered as plus 90. So j omega only available at the denominator means j omega power is 1. Therefore, minus 90 you have to include. For example, or otherwise omega square is there in the numerator plus 180. Omega square in the denominator means minus 180. Like that you have to take. Okay, so apart from that, we have to understand various transfer functions. Okay, so here you can able to see if the transfer function is as a plus jb complex nature, okay, then magnitude will be root of a square plus b square, and then phase angle become tan inverse of b by a, okay, and then transfer function will be also available in the second quadrant, that will be minus a plus jb. So magnitude will be root of a square plus b square, and phase angle will be written as pi minus tan inverse of b by a. And we can also have the transfer function as minus a minus jb. So magnitude will be root of a square plus b square, and phase angle will be pi plus tan inverse of b by a. And similarly, we can have the transfer function as a minus jb. Then the magnitude becomes a square plus b square, root of a square plus b square. Phase angle will be minus tan inverse of b by a. So these are the various things, important things we should remember. Then we can easily write the phase angle equation. Okay, so then we have to have the various omega value, various phase angle. You can join all the points with the smooth curve, then you can have the phase plot. So now Bode plot consists of magnitude plot and phase plot. So from this, how to determine the gain margin and phase margin, that is very important. Okay, so now we can able to see we are having a x-axis in terms of omega, y-axis in terms of decibel. Okay, so first for the magnitude plot, here it will be consist with plus dB, 0 minus dB, and then phase plot plus theta, 0 minus theta, like that we can also write. Okay, so for example, here magnitude plot has been drawn and phase plot has been drawn. So if you want to determine the gain margin, always you have to remember minus 180. So from the minus 180, draw a horizontal line that will intersect your phase plot. Draw a vertical line that will intersect your magnitude plot. Okay, so corresponding frequency will be phase crossover frequency. Corresponding gain, if the graph it consists with minus dB, result will be plus dB. If it comes with plus dB, result will be minus dB. Like that we have to write. Okay, so then if you want to determine the phase margin, always remember 0 dB. So from the 0 dB, draw a horizontal line that will intersect your Bode magnitude plot. Draw a vertical line, it will be intersecting your phase plot. Corresponding frequency is nothing but your omega GC. Okay, so corresponding gain, corresponding phase angle, whatever it has been available, that will be 5GC. So now measure this phase angle value and substitute that into the formula, that is gamma is equal to 180 plus 5GC. Okay, so you will be getting a phase margin. So you might have the positive phase gain margin and a positive phase margin, and also you may get the negative gain margin and negative phase margin. So this is about the various gain and phase margin values, how to determine into the given Bode plot. Okay, so and then we can go for the one problem, and then we can determine the gain margin, phase margin, and whatever it is asked. So we take this problem and we can able to continue that. Okay, so we sketch the Bode plot and then we can do. Okay, so from the various concepts we learned. So here, first of all, we take the transfer function, that is k into s square divided by 1 plus j 0.2s into 1 plus 0.022s. Okay, that is the transfer function. So here we have to determine the gain k for given gain crossover frequency is 5 radian per second. This is the problem, and we have to draw the Bode plot and we have to determine the gain k. Okay, so how to do that? So that is one procedure we discuss, and then we can go for the next topic. Okay, so here you can able to see. First of all, in order to draw the Bode plot, we have to do the magnitude plot. So magnitude plot will be consist with corner frequencies. So in order to determine the corner frequency, first of all we have to look into the transfer function. Transfer function will be consist with 1 plus s term directly. It's available. Therefore, without any time, you can replace s into j omega So therefore, k into j omega the whole square divided by 1 plus 0 j omega 1 plus 0 j omega is available. Okay, so you have obtained. So now the j omega the reciprocal take that value and determine that values. So that is 1 divided by 0.2 will be 5 radian per second and 1 divided by 0.02 will be 50 radian per second. So this will be the values. So that is omega c1 and omega c2. So here you got your corner frequencies. So here then you have to choose the lower corner frequency, higher corner frequency. Lower corner frequency should be less than the first corner frequency. Higher corner frequency should be greater than the second corner frequency. Okay, so like that you have to choose. So these are the things we have already learned in the procedure. You have to implement over here. Before that, do the tabular column and term will be written. So here you can able to see j omega is only available in the numerator. Take that. So whenever k problem is there, always assign k is equal to 1 and then proceed. Okay. So here j omega square only available. Take that as a first ascending order corner frequencies 1 divided by 1 plus j 0.2 omega and then 1 divided by 1 plus j 0.02 omega. Okay, so corner frequencies will be 5 radian per second, here 50 radian per second. So then slope value you can write. So j omega square is available plus 40. So j omega power is 1, so minus 20. So here also denominator is there minus 20. So change in slope, first term doesn't have plus 40 minus 20 minus plus 20. So take that plus 20 result for the third term and then here minus 20. So change in slope for the third term will be 0. So like that you have to determine. Okay, and then you can able to see you have to determine for various frequency, various gain value you have to determine. So first of all, you can take omega L. So gain A is equal to 20 into log of log of magnitude of first term. First term is j omega the whole square. Magnitude j will goes out. You will be getting only the omega square. So you will be getting 20 into log of omega square. Or instead of omega, substitute omega L value. So you'll be getting the value as minus 12 dB. And then omega is equal to omega C1. So here for this also you have to use the same formula 20 log of magnitude of first term. So instead of omega you have to substitute that omega C1 value, that is 5 square. Okay, 20 log of 5 square, that will be getting as 28 dB. So and then you have to take the omega is equal to omega C2. For this only the second formula you have to implement, that is a slope from the previous frequency is omega C1, therefore omega C1 to omega C2 into log of omega C2 divided by omega C1 plus the gain at omega C1. So this is the formula. Slope from value change in slope. So here you can go to this tabular column. Second term corresponding change in slope value result what you got, that is a plus 20. Okay, so that value here you have to substitute instead of slope from omega C1 to omega C2, that is plus 20 into log of omega C2 is 50 divided by 5. And then previous gain is 28. If you are doing the calculation, you will be getting 48 dB. And then for similarly for the omega h, slope from omega c2 to omega h into log of omega h divided by omega c2 plus gain at omega c2. So here, in order to determine this slope from omega c2 to omega h, for this go to the tabular column. Okay, so here you can able to see the change in slope 0 you are obtained, right? So take that value and here substitute that over here. Okay, so here you can able to see 0 into log of 100 divided by 50 plus 48. So again you will be getting 48. Okay, so this is how you have to determine the gain for various frequencies. Okay, and then we can go for the next phase plot procedure. For the phase plot, you have to write the phi. So phi is equal to you have to look into the transfer function. J omega square is available in the numerator up plus 180 and tan inverse term 1 plus j term available in the denominator minus tan inverse of 0.2 omega minus tan inverse of 0.02 omega. Okay, so then you can able to see various omega has been chosen from between the omega L and omega H and substitute that into all the terms and then try to obtain the phi value. So phi value has been determined. Now phase plot will be drawn between various frequency versus phase angle. Okay, so for this you have to draw the Bode plot. So here you can able to see it has been drawn over here in the graph. Okay, so here x-axis has been taken in the omega value, that is 0.11 10 100 1000. Okay, so this is your omega value. So in the left hand side plus dB, 0 minus dB has been taken. In this right hand side y axis phase angle values has been taken. So first of all, we have to draw the magnitude plot for k is equal to 1. So here, while omega is equal to L, 0.5 so you are getting gain as minus 12. So that is minus 10, minus 12, this value. So put that mark it and draw a small circle. And then 5 radian per second plus 28, mark that and circle. And then 50 radian per second you got gain as 48. So this is 50, 48 will be this one, and 100 48 this one. Okay, so you'll be getting you join all the points with the scale. So you'll be getting a magnitude plot for k is equal to 1 completed. And then for various frequency phase angle value. So point all the mark all the points, join with a smooth curve. Okay, so this will be your phase plot. So it's completed. So now come to the problem. Okay, so in the problem what they have asked, so you have to determine the gain k. For gain crossover frequency is 5 radian per second. Okay, so here we should know what is how to determine the gain crossover frequency. So here gain crossover frequency is nothing but the frequency at which the system gain is 0 dB. Okay, so here we have to look for that condition is been implemented or not. Okay, so now you can go for the graph. Here you can able to see in the graph at 5 radian per second. So omega is 5 radian per second. Draw a vertical line that will intersect your magnitude plot. Corresponding gain what it is you have to measure from the graph. Okay, so that shows a plus 28, but it should come as a 0. Then only this 5 radian per second is been considered as a gain crossover frequency. Therefore, in order to make this plus 28 as 0 dB, what we have to do? Minus 28 we have to add. Okay, so whatever you are doing, that minus 28, okay, you are adding to bring that into the 0 dB. So therefore, whatever you are doing for compensating, or you are bringing that 0 dB, minus 28 will be equated to 20 log of k. So then you can determine your k value. So 20 log of k is equal to minus 28. For log k is equal to minus 28 divided by 20. Upper k is equal to 10 to the power of minus 28 divided by 20. Okay, so you'll be getting a k value is equal to 0.0398. Okay, so here for this k value, again you have to draw the magnitude plot. Okay, so how that can be drawn, we discuss here. Okay, so here you can able to see for each omega value already magnitude plot has been drawn. So all these magnitude values, gain values, minus 28 you are going to add. For example, at omega L gain value is obtained as minus 12. So minus 28 if you are adding, you will be getting minus 12 plus minus 28, you will be getting minus 40. So it has been drawn over here. Similarly, plus 28 minus 28 means 0 dB, it will be obtained. And then you will be having plus 48 minus 28 20 plus 20. Similarly, plus 48 plus 20. So join all the things, above that write the k value. So that's all, the problem will be gets completed. So whatever the procedure we have been learned from this, whatever the problem is being asked, we can able to continue. Okay, so here you can able to see the 20 log of k is equivalent to minus 28. Log k is equal to minus 28 divided by 20. Upper k is equal to 10 to the power of 28 divided by 20. So you have obtained your k value. Okay, so this is the thing they had. It has been asked in the problem, we have been determined. So this is how you have to sketch the Bode plot for any given transfer function, and whatever the thing is been asked, you can able to determine also from the concept. Okay, so hope everyone is clearly understood this concept. Okay, and then we can able to see. So this is a graph, and then we can go for the next plot, that is a polar plot. Okay, so here you can able to see polar plot. So it is also the frequency response plot, which will be drawn for the sinusoidal transfer function of g of j omega. Is a plot of magnitude versus phase angle of g of j omega. Okay, so it will be drawn on the polar coordinates. Here the omega will be varies from 0 to infinity. Okay, so the polar plot is the locus of magnitude of g of j omega versus phase angle of g of j omega. So omega will be varied from 0 to infinity. Okay, so the polar plot is also called as a Nyquist plot if it is drawn in the rectangular coordinates. Okay, so if the plot is been drawn polar plot is been drawn in the polar coordinate, it is called as a polar plot. If the plot is been drawn for the rectangular coordinates, then it is called as a Nyquist plot. That's all. So here you will be having a polar plot as like this. It is a circle. Okay, so here the phase angle will be varies from 0, minus 90, minus 1, minus 180, minus 270. So that will be the negative. Okay, anti-clockwise plus angles. So here plus 90, minus 9, plus 180, plus 270, like that it will come. So here this will be the radius will be the magnitude, and you will be having a radial lines, phase angle lines. Okay, so this will be about the polar plot. And then we can go for the various addition of poles and zeros, how the polar plot shapes will be changed. So when the pole is been added to the system, the polar plot endpoint will be shifted by minus 90. When zeros is added to the system, the polar plot will be having a endpoint will be shifted by plus 90. So this will also be considered as the effect of addition of poles and zeros into the system. Okay, so here the polar plot will also be drawn by the concepts concepts known by type number and order of the system. So type number of the system will be varies from 0 to different values, and order of the system will be first order, second order, third order, and fourth order, like this. Okay, so if you are having a polar plot, it will be having a starting point and the end point. Starting point will be always starts depending upon the type number of the system, and polar plot shape will be having an end point depending upon the order of the system. That's all. So here if you are having a type 0 system, it will always it will be started at the at this direction, from the zero angle direction. Okay, so if you are having a type 1 system, minus 90-degree angle to upwards, it will be starting, it will be having a starting point. So if you are having a type 2 system, minus 180 it will be having a starting. So if you are having minus 270, it will be in the upward length towards origin, it will be having a starting point. Similarly, if you are having a polar plot, it will be having endpoints. If you are having a first order system, so the endpoint will be in polar plot shape will be ended at the quadrant with 0 to plus minus 90 itself. Second order system means it will be end between minus 90 to minus 180. So if third order system means it will be having endpoints in between minus 90 to minus 270. If it is a fourth order system means minus 270 to minus 360, like this. And then depending for the various kinds of transfer function, how to determine the or how to sketch the polar plot. So we can sketch the polar plot by two methods. One is by the knowledge of type number and order of the system. Other one is by having a mathematical model. Okay, so here you can able to see GFS is given as 1 divided by 1 plus ST. So here S will be replaced by J omega. Therefore, G of J omega becomes 1 divided by 1 plus J omega T. Okay, so this is your transfer function. So here you can able to look into the transfer function. So here there is no S, or there is no pole at the origin. Therefore, type number is 0. Okay, so here overall S power in the denominator is 1. Therefore, order is 1. So type 0 means the polar plot should be started from 0 degree side. Okay, order 1 means first quadrantly it will be ending. So that's why it will be started at this and ends at this. So polar plot is being drawn as like this. Or otherwise, the another method is by using a mathematical model concept. Okay, so here S will be replaced with J omega. So 1 divided by 1 plus J omega T. So it consists of magnitude as well as phase function. 1 divided by root of A square plus B square. So that is omega square into T square. And the phase angle will be tan inverse of imaginary divided by real. Imaginary coefficient is omega T divided by 1. So here tan value is there in the denominator. Therefore, it will be written in the numerator as minus tan inverse of this. Magnitude becomes 1 divided by root of 1 plus omega square T square. Okay, so now in this is the magnitude as well as phase angle. So here you have to substitute the omega value. Omega is always varies from 0 to infinity. So first you take the substitute the omega value in terms of 0. So if you are substituting that into 0, phase angle substitute பண்ணும்போது tan inverse of 0 is nothing but 0. So phase angle becomes 0. The magnitude becomes 1 divided by 1, 1. So magnitude value becomes 1 for omega is equal to 0. And then substitute omega is equal to infinity into the transfer function. So G of J omega becomes 1 divided by infinity is nothing but 0. Tan inverse of infinity is nothing but 90. So minus 90. So for minus 90, magnitude becomes 0. So that will be the point, and starting point will be magnitude is 1. Okay, so the phase angle is 0, that you will be getting the starting value. So curve is been drawn as like this. Similarly, you can draw for all the things. So here you can able to see on the next thing, second transfer function 1 divided by s into 1 plus st. Here there is a pole at origin, s is equal to 0. Okay, so you are getting pole at one pole at origin. Therefore, type number is 1. So overall s power is a square. Therefore, order is 2. So therefore, depending upon the type number and order of the system, it type number 2. So therefore, it starts from minus 90 degree direction, and then it will be ends at second quadrant. Okay, so like that it can draw, or the same procedure you can follow for the mathematical model also. So here you can determine the magnitude and phase angle, and then substitute omega value, and depending upon that you can draw. Okay, so the similar thing here also it has been available for various frequencies. For various transfer function, you can draw the various polar plot sketches. Okay, so this is for type 0 and order 1 system. The polar plot will be drawn as like this. For type 1 and order 2 system, the polar plot will be drawn as like this. And then this will be the further similar different type numbers and order of the systems. So if you drawn the polar plot, how to determine the gain margin and phase margin, it's very important. So here you will be having a g of j omega locus. Okay, so that will intersect your minus 180 line. So corresponding that 0 to that value will be your gain margin value, GB. So kg will be equal to 1 divided by GB. Okay, so if you want to determine kg in terms of decibel, 20 log of 1 divided by GB, you have to write. Okay, so if you want to determine the phase margin, here always you have to determine the unity circle. So here unity circle will intersect your g of j omega locus at any point. Okay, so on the particular point, phase angle value you have to determine, that will be your 5G. So directly substitute that, and you will be getting a phase margin. Okay, so that will be for various how to determine the gain margin, phase margin. Okay, so that has been explained over here. Okay, and then we can take the simple problem, and we can discuss how to sketch the polar plot for this problem. Okay, in both in the polar coordinate as well as in the rectangular coordinate. Okay, so here we are taking a transfer function as g of s is equal to 1 divided by s into 1 plus s, 1 plus 2s. Okay, s is been replaced by j omega, 1 divided by j omega, 1 plus j omega into 1 plus 2 j omega. So here, as usual, write magnitude as well as phase angle for all the terms. So here j omega is only 1, therefore phase angle is 90. So if you are taking magnitude, j goes out, only omega will comes. So 1 plus j omega ku magnitude 1 plus omega square, phase angle will be tan inverse of omega. And similarly 1 plus 4 omega square, tan inverse of 2 omega, and the phase angle will be added, multiplication phase angles will be added together. Therefore plus 90 plus tan inverse of omega plus tan inverse of 2 omega. If you want to write all the phase angles into the numerator, then all the phase angles becomes minus. That's all. Minus 90 minus tan inverse of omega minus tan inverse of 2 omega. The magnitude functions will be taken. So omega and root of values will be single root will be taken, and both will be multiplied, and within bracket multiply, and you can have the formula as like this. So now you can have the various omega value which will be chosen in between the corner frequencies. Okay, so you can have the frequency as like this. Substitute that into the magnitude as well as phase angle. You will be getting a magnitude as well as phase angle values. So this by having this, you can able to draw the polar plot into the graph. Okay, so இது வந்து polar coordinates இருக்கு. இது by using a calculator you can convert that into the real value and imaginary value for various omega. Okay, so here that polar coordinates has been converted into rectangular coordinate by using a calculator itself. So now real and imaginary value is been obtained. So this will be done by the calculation side. So now we can go for the graphical side. Okay, so here you can able to see. So here you can able to see in the next thing, you can able to see the polar plot. It's available drawn. Okay, so here whenever you are taking a polar plot, in the right hand side 0 angle should come. So in the downwards minus 90, minus 180, and minus 270. First of all, you have to mark, and then take a scale and pencil, join a horizontal line between 0 and minus 180. Okay, that is a horizontal line. Vertical line will be joined between minus 90 to plus 90. draw a vertical line, and then each circle will be having some values. Okay, so in the 10, after that you get to a dark circle, and then after 10 circle you got your dark circle like that. Okay, so here you can, depending upon that, you got to choose the scale. So 0.5 and 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, like that. It has been each solid circle, it will be chosen as a scale. Okay, so choose pannittu. Now polar plot la here we have that tabular column. Okay, polar coordinates, we are having a tabular column. For omega is equal to 0.3, we are having a magnitude as 2.2, and phase angle is minus 144. Now come to the graph. Okay, so here you can able to see 2.2. So this is 2. Each circle will be 0.05. So therefore this is a 2.25. Okay, 2.25. Before that will be 0.222. Okay. So here it will be point is been comes this circle. This circle will be intersect with the phase angle. Phase angle, this is minus 140, this is minus 150. In between that 144 will be comes. So a corresponding intersecting point will be marked. Beside that you write the omega value. Okay, corresponding omega value. Like that you have to write everything. Okay, so mark all the points and join all the points towards the origin with a smooth curve. Okay, so this is your g of j omega locus. So now you have drawn the polar plot into the polar graph sheet. So now you have to determine your phase margin and gain margin. How to do it, I will explain. Okay, so now you can able to see minus 180 line. This is a horizontal axis, so that intersecting the g of j omega locus at this point, corresponding value is 0.7. So 1 divided by 0.7 is nothing but your kg value. If you want to determine this in terms of decibel, 20 log of 4.2, if you are doing, then doing the calculation, then you will be getting that value in terms of decibel. Okay, so then you have to determine the phase margin. In order to determine the phase margin, always remember unity circle. So this is your 1, where is the magnitude is 1, corresponding circle is nothing but your unity circle. That unity circle intersects the g of j omega locus at this particular point. Corresponding phase angle is minus 168. Okay, so take that is 5gc, take that value and substitute that into the formula. 180 plus 5gc is equal to 180 minus 168, that is equal to 12 degree. So this is your phase margin. Okay, this is how you have to determine your gain margin, phase margin for the given problem. Okay, class, you can sketch the polar plot, you can determine the gain margin, phase margin as like this. Okay, so this is the various concepts is been available, and then we can go for determining the closed loop response from the open loop response. Okay, so from the open loop response concepts, we can also analyze the closed loop response of the any system. So that will be done by using a two methods, that is M and N circles and Nicol chart. Okay, so here you can able to see what is your closed loop transfer function, C of s divided by R of s, which is equivalent to G of s divided by 1 plus G of s into H of s. So closed loop sinusoidal closed loop transfer function always taken in terms of M of s. So that will be S will be replaced by J omega. Therefore, M of J omega is equal to G of J omega divided by 1 plus G of J omega into H of J omega. So here it is a M of J omega. It is a complex function which will be consist with magnitude as well as phase angle. Magnitude will be consist with M and phase angle will be considered with alpha. Okay, so that will be the phase angle of closed loop transfer function is alpha. Okay, magnitude of closed loop transfer function always considered in terms of M, capital M. So now we are going to discuss what is meant by an M and N circle and Nicol chart. Okay, so M and N circle is N circle we discussed now. So the magnitude of closed loop transfer function with the unity feedback can be shown shown to be in the form of circle for every value of M. That is called as a M circle. So the N circle means if the phase angle of closed loop transfer function with the unity feedback is alpha, then it can be shown that as the family of circle for every value of alpha. That is called as a N circle. Okay, so now if you are doing the simplification calculations, so you will be getting a equation, the circle equation, as in terms of x plus m square divided by m square minus 1 the whole square plus y square, that is equal to m square divided by m square minus 1 the whole square. So this will be the equation, circle equation. From this we can determine the various M circle. Okay, for example, this equation, if you are substituting m is equal to m is equal to 1. Okay, so our m is equal m is equal to 1. If you are substituting that value, then a straight line will be passing through at x is equal to minus 1 by 2 and y is equal to 0. So if m is equal to 0 and substitute pannina, you will be getting m is equal to 0. Okay, so it is a point. Okay, when m is equal to m is substituted as infinity, then you will be getting becomes minus 1 and 0. Okay, so therefore the m circles can be drawn as like this. When m is equal to 1, it has been crossing, a straight line has been passing through the axis minus 1 by 2 comma 0. Okay, or 0 minus 0.5 comma y-axis value is 0. So on that point, m straight line has been passing through. If m is increasing from 0 to 1, okay, the m circle will be fall on right hand side. If m is increasing further greater than 1, then the m circle will be decreasing in the left hand side, and when m is infinity, it will be obtained as a point at minus 1. Okay, so that will be the thing about the m circle. And similarly, you can go for the n circle. So n circle formula will be after small derivation will be obtained as x plus 1 divided by 2 the whole square plus y minus 1 divided by 2n the whole square, that is equal to 1 by 4 plus 1 divided by 2n the whole square. So here also the alpha value is increasing. Okay, then the circle will be available as like this. If alpha value is decreasing, then it will be available as like this. So n circle will also be drawn. Okay, so here then we can go further. So this is a m circle. So when m is 1, so the straight line has been passing, and m is 0 to less than 1, then the circles will be fall on the right hand side. M is increasing, then the circle will be falls on the left hand side. M is infinity, then a point will be available at minus 1. Okay, then n circle will be drawn as like this by using this formula for various values of n. Okay, or n is equal to tan alpha. So then you can obtain the circle as like this. And then we can go for the Nicol chart. Okay, Nicol chart is transformed from the constant of m and n circle to log magnitude and phase angle coordinate, and the resulting chart is called as a Nicol chart. Okay, for example, you can able to see the simple identification over here. So the Nicol chart will be consist with the gain in the graph. It will be consist with gain of plus 32 dB to lowest gain will be minus 12 dB, and then phase angle will be the x-axis 0 to minus 180. So then you will be having a various m circle and n circles will be imposed on the graph sheet. Okay, so here for a Nicol chart will be drawn for the magnitude and phase angle. So magnitude will be 20 log of magnitude, and the phase angle will be available. So for these two things, we can able to plot the Nicol's g of j omega locus. That g of j omega locus will be plotted here. Okay, so if this g of j omega locus is tangentially intersect any m circle, corresponding m value is nothing but your resonant peak. Okay, so exactly how where it has been intersect, corresponding frequency is nothing but your resonant frequency. So then in the m circle, minus 3 dB line, circle will be available. If that minus 3 dB circle is been intersecting this g of j omega locus, corresponding frequency is nothing but your bandwidth. Similarly, here also you can be able to determine the phase margin and gain margin. If you want to determine the gain margin, always remember minus 180. So g of j omega locus intersects the minus 180 line at this point, 0 to that value, minus value. So therefore gain margin becomes plus value. So similarly, if you want to determine the phase margin, so always remember the 0 dB. So the g of j omega locus intersect at 0 dB. 0 dB at this point. Corresponding vertical phase angle will be 5 GC. So identify this value and substitute that into the formula. Gamma is equal to 180 plus 5 GC. You will be getting phase margin. Okay, so this is how you have to determine the various frequency domain specification from the Nicol chart. Okay, so hope everyone can able to understand. So remaining we discuss into the next class. The remaining next topic will be the compensators. We discuss into the next class. And if you have any doubts, we can discuss, or otherwise we can end up the class. Okay, thank you for attending the class. Thank you.